Okay, the whole session will be on the floor, so you don't need anything except some cushions if you need some padding when we're lying down on the floor. And a lot of work we're doing is all around posture and spine health, and a lot of activation and softening that works around your nervous system. And we are going to start with some breath. Just start breathing, just do a check-in with your breath. See how your breath feels like, whether or not you can breathe a little bit deeper, allowing your body to be the container for your breath. And see if you can allow this container to soften a little bit so you can let more breath come in. And as you exhale, just watch yourself arriving in your body. And on every inhale and exhale, see if you can come to your body a little bit more. Continue observing your breath. See if you can deepen it a little bit more. On the next inhale and exhale, we are going to start doing some box breathing, meaning 4 breaths in, 4 breaths, 4 count pause, 4 count exhale, 4 count pause. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue going with this rhythm for a couple more rounds. I encourage you to observe yourself, especially on the exhale and the pause after. See if you can stay with that a little bit more, allowing your shoulder to drop a little bit more. We tend to have our nervous system get too activated when we're on the exhale and the pause after. You're wrapping up the breath. Beautiful. Now if you've had your eyes closed, now open your eyes. Have both of your arms open. On the side, one hand goes on your chest, and we slowly try to reach for the other arm. And try your best to keep your shoulders square and your hips square. And try to reach a little bit more. Feel the squeeze in the back body right between your shoulder blades. And see if you can create a little bit more space. Especially as you're opening up, see if you can exhale, empty your body out of breath, and inhale as you come to center. Alternate. Keep going. And see if you can increase that space on the moving arm on each count. And I really want you to feel the squeeze in the back body right between your shoulder blades. And see if you can create a little bit more space. The next one is your last. And slowly drop the shoulder. Drop the arms. Lift the shoulder all the way up to your ears. Drop it down. All the way up. Drop it down. One more time. All the way up. Drop it down. Beautiful. Now we're moving to our heads. Have your chin tucked in. And see if you can press your neck to an imaginary wall behind you. And then have your hands right below your head, where your head meets your neck. And then drop your forehead slowly down, not too much. And then now you're pressing your head gently into your hand, coming back up. Keep doing that. Please be super gentle. And if you feel comfortable, you can gradually increase the pressure, but still the pressure is very gentle. We do one more. And just hold it there. See if you can allow that stretch move down from your neck down to right between your shoulder blades, down to your lower back, as if you're lengthening your spine and creating a little bit more space. Beautiful. And very slowly remove your hands. Now we're going for some rotation of the neck. This is called controlled articular rotation. So you want to do it very gently, moving to the side. Have your gaze looking back. Draw a circle with your chin. Coming to the side. And slowly coming to center. Going to the other side. Draw a circle with your chin. All the way, coming to side and center. I encourage you to observe your jaw. See what your jaw is doing. See if you can keep your jaw neutral. If your jaw wants to open up or you're creating too much tension on your jaw, so you are moving in a range that does not yet belong to you. So I encourage you to reduce that range and make your circle a little bit smaller. And this is your last one. Beautiful. Good. Now we're doing a thoracic spine release, and then we are moving on to our movements. So thoracic spine tends to hold on to a lot of tension, especially if you're working on your computers. Have your hands over your knee, over your shin. We want to make sure that our arms are fully extended and we're keeping our arms at the front of our shoulders engaged and the back of our shoulders are working. So we're squeezing our shoulder blades together as hard as is possible for us. Make sure you have your chin tucked in and the back of your neck is still extended. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You want to constantly create tension in that spot. You might be like, there's no room, what should I do? Just keep maintaining that tension. You're teaching your brain that there's a spot there that you can create more range by creating that tension there. Press, press, press. And now slowly move that shoulder blade apart and have your rib cage down and you're pressing back as much as you can and you try to open up those shoulder blades as much as it's available to you. And you're constantly looking for a new space in your back body. Try to put all of your focus on your upper back rather than your lower back. Stretch, stretch, stretch. See if you can slow down your breath a little bit more. Maybe inhale and exhale through the nose if it's available to you. On the next inhale, come on up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. I know it looks very simple, but it's not as easy to do. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try to really look for more range there. It allows you to find this good release in your upper back. Squeeze as much as you can. See if you can squeeze a little bit more. A little bit more space. Keep your arms extended. Keep your neck neutral or extended if it's available to you. On the next inhale, we're moving the shoulder blades away. Move them away as much as possible to you. Really feeling that pull in the back body, feeling that stretch in your upper back. See if you can find a little bit more space. This is the last time we're doing this. See if you can find a little bit more space. Beautiful. Slowly come on up. Maybe one breath in and out. And then slowly come on up to your elbows. If you have sensitive knees, now is the time to use your cushions for your knees. So here we all know what cat and cow look like, but now we want to only focus on our lower back. We barely move our lower backs individually. So I want you to really think about hugging your core in and moving the lowest part of your spine right here towards the ceiling. I don't want you to engage the upper back. Focus on your lower back. It's a super small, gentle movement in that area. And then you're moving your belly towards the floor each time. And move towards the ceiling. Find that activation in the core. Find that movement in the lowest part of your spine. And drop it down. Keep going. As you start finding your grip on the movement, now I want you to think about as if you're moving through thick air. So you're creating these self-imposed resistance that you are moving with a lot more resistance this time, as if you're trying to strength train that part of your spine. You can even press your elbows down to the floor and towards yourself as you're moving up towards the ceiling, and release that tension as you're coming down. One more. And slow release, beautiful. So you can go to a child pose if it feels good. And then we are moving to a tabletop position. So here I want you to focus mainly on your scapula or your shoulder blades, pressing your chest down to the floor and pressing away as far away as you can. Keep going down towards the floor and away, pulling your shoulder blades apart, going down and apart. If you have sensitive wrists, I highly encourage you to activate your fingertips. Press your fingertips into the floor as if you're finding your strong grip there. And then have your elbow creases pointing forward. That allows you to really tap into your scapular movement here. You do one more. And so now I'm gonna move towards you. You still remain on a tabletop position. So you're gonna see this in this way a little bit better. So now we're going to release tension on our shoulders, right in front of our shoulders. It's more like a shoulder flossing. So have your arms extended in front of you. Your thumb is your guide. So you let your thumb move in as far in as possible and pause at your end range, and then slowly open up. Go at the furthest possible place that is available to you on the other way. Keep going, coming in and going up. I still encourage you to maintain your shoulders in square position, your hip in square position. Keep going, bring it in and out. I also encourage you, as you're doing this, see if you can reach a little bit higher up towards the ceiling and maintain that height as you're going in and out. Let all that tension melt down, all that tension that you might be carrying in your shoulders. The next one is your last And we're moving to the other side. Again, reaching as high up as possible, coming in and going to the other side. And at each end range, you're going to pause a little, as if you want to go a little bit further, or at least exploring that range. Going to the other side, keep going, finding that activation in that joint. Your joints want to be moved, want to explore all directions, but unfortunately we just don't have that opportunity anymore with our lifestyles. Let's go for one more. Good, and slowly come down to the side. I make sure that I show this from different angles so you can see. Okay, so we are moving to our hips. So you're bringing the bottom leg up in a square shape so you can have that support. So this leg can be your support pressing down. And here, you want to make sure your hips are stacked on top of one another so you're not leaned back. You're right here. Your core is slightly activated. And then you're going to have your arms together and reach up. So the reason we're reaching up is we want to have the spine fully engaged so we can focus on the hip. So bringing the leg in, open up to the side, see how slow I'm going, and I don't collapse back. I'm really maintaining that opening up, going back, still pretend that you have a ball right between your knee so you can still maintain that bent knee. For some people, it's very hard to maintain that bent positioning when they're moving back. So now opening up, finding that squeeze in the side of your hip. See if you can squeeze it a little bit more. And then we draw a circle back in. Going out for a quick rest. Bring it in, take your time. Please don't rush through this. Open up, keep stretching your spine, going back and down. So I'll show you from this angle. So coming in, open up, going back, finding that control, maintaining that control in the hip. So you're not letting your hip collapse back up. Your hip will love you for this. And back in, beautiful. So now from there, we're rolling on our bellies. We're still working on the same leg. So you're bringing the same leg up. And I want you to think about, the intention for you is to create some opening in the hip. So I want you to really focus on that space and see if you can breathe into that space between the floor and the hip. And see if you can get closer to the floor on every exhale. Keep breathing in and out. See on every exhale whether or not you can get a little bit closer to the floor. And please honor what your body feels good when we are moving into these movements. I encourage you to really stick with the range that feels comfortable. If there is lower back pain or anything like that, so you need to minimize that range or make that range a little bit smaller. So here on the next inhale, you're holding that breath into your core and you cultivate as much strength as it is in your body. So you start pressing your leg down to the floor as strong as possible. If I slide a scale underneath your leg, you see a big number on that scale. So that's how much power you're creating. So press it down as hard as you possibly can. Let that number on the scale continue increasing. Press down, down, down. Keep going. See if you can slow down your breath while still cultivating power through your core, through your whole body, allowing your whole body contribute to this force that you're creating. Beautiful, and slowly let it go and allow your hip to sink in a little bit deeper to the floor. You may notice you have a little bit more range here. So we do this one more time. Breathe in. Trap that breath in your core. Let that become a power for you. So you begin pressing down as strong as possible. You may start feeling all the shakes everywhere. This is deep work into your neurological pathways. So let them be created now. So really work through that. Press as hard as it's available to you. I want that number on the scale increase. Beautiful. On the next exhale, rest and allow your hip to sink in a little bit deeper to the floor. So now, on this exercise, we try to create a bigger number on the scale. The scale is still there. So now we want to create the smallest number possible, meaning you pretend that you're trying to lift your leg off the floor. But keep that in mind that you are in your end range. So you can actually lift your hip off the floor right now. So you're just pretending that you're lifting this leg off the floor. Create as much force as is available for you. Just really look into it. See if you can lift a little bit higher up, as if you're aiming for hovering over the floor, and that scale shows the smallest number possible. Feel all the activation in your glutes, in your hamstrings, in your whole leg. It feels good, isn't it? And slowly release. Beautiful. Find your breath, breathe in and out. Good. So now we're going to work on our hips a little bit more. So now you're lifting your foot off the floor. So this might be your range, this might be your range, whatever that your range is, stick with that. So you're thinking about, it's an active hold. So you're trying to look for more and more range every time we do this. So lift up and activate. See if you can find a little bit more range in your hips. Let's keep going. Find that activation in the glutes, in the whole leg, in your inner thighs. If you're feeling it in your lower back, that range doesn't belong to you. Make it a little bit smaller. You still want to have both of your hips driving towards the floor. If you're going to the side in order to accomplish this, again, that range doesn't belong to you. Maybe your range is right here. So stick with that. So find that space, whatever the space is for you, and slowly release. Let's do this one more time. Lift up. Find that activation. Stick with the range that doesn't cause you pain. Keep going. Feel that shake. Feel that vibration throughout your whole body. See if you can allow your whole body contribute to this movement. And slowly drop. Well done. Okay, if this is the first time you're doing this type of work, I'm sure you will feel this tomorrow or maybe today. So let's go to the other side. So bring the bottom leg up again for your support, making sure your hips are stacked. Reach up. Bring your leg all the way in. Maintain that stackedness on your hips. Open up, move back, and slow drop here. And then we're lifting towards the ceiling and feeling that activation in the side of the hip and drawing the circle in. And also make sure that you're constantly squeezing an imaginary ball behind your knee. Open up to the side, drop back, drop down, lift up to the ceiling. Once again, find that squeeze, draw a circle in. Well done. Beautiful. So we're rolling over to our bellies, creating that 90-degree angle positioning, still driving the hip towards the floor. See if you can breathe in and out. And On every exhale, see if you can allow your hip to sink into the floor a little bit more. Make your exhales count. On every exhale, see if you can get a little bit closer to the floor. On the next inhale, trap that breath into your core. Allow that to cultivate energy. And then you start pressing your leg down to the floor as strong as possible. You're having that scale underneath, and we want that to show the biggest number possible. Keep pressing down, feel that shake. Allow your whole body contribute to this force that you're creating. Keep pressing down. A little bit more. You got this. And slowly release. See if you can allow your hip sink into the floor a little bit more. Maybe one deep exhale here. Breathe in and start pressing down once again. So you can fully relax your head on the floor. I don't do that because it may change the quality of the sound for you guys. So press it down as hard as possible. See if you can create a little bit more force. A little bit more. And slowly release, let your hips sink into the floor. Beautiful. Once again, you are at your end range. You can't actually lift your leg, but we're pretending here. So you want to let your leg almost hover over the floor. Start lifting up now. Lift up. Beautiful. Create as much strength as possible. Allow your whole body to contribute to this force. Keep creating that beautiful force in your body. See if you can activate a little bit more. You might be feeling all the shake in your glutes, in your hamstring, in your inner thighs, everywhere. Beautiful. Slowly release. See if you're a little bit closer to the floor. And slowly we're lifting up the foot. So again, stick with the range that is pain-free. Keep driving the hips down to the floor, and it's an active hold. You're looking for more range. Create that shake, create that bend in the hips. Keep going. See if you can go a little bit more. And slowly release. Beautiful. So we do this one more time. Lifting up in 3, 2, 1, and up. See if you can find a little bit more range this time. A little bit more strength, a little bit more power. Teach that hip what is available to it, but we're not using it. Keep going. Give it the best you've got. This is the last time you're doing this. And slowly release. Oh, good work. So just maybe find your breath, breathe in and out a couple of times. This is your opportunity to grab water if you need to before we're moving on to the next exercise. We're staying on our bellies, but we're going to change it in a second. So for the next exercise, we're focusing on the upper back. So creating, just releasing all the tension in the upper back by creating tension in the upper back. So you have your arms on the side. So you see this side, the other side is exactly the same. So you want to make sure that your elbows and wrists are in the same line. So have your forehead towards the floor and have your chin tucked in. The back of your neck is extended. So here you're hugging your rib cage in. What do I mean by that is as if you're trying to let your rib cage exit through your back body. You're creating this sensation of really shortening your belly, squeezing your belly, and pressing yourself away from the floor. Make sure you're keeping your forearms fully activated down on the floor. Otherwise, you're going to feel it in your lower back. So your arms are fully strong. So you're keeping your ribcage hugged in, and you're moving your shoulder blades apart. So you may not fully move that shoulder blade apart from one another, but you're pretending that you're constantly looking for a newfound space in your back body. See if you can create a little bit more space, a little bit more space. Now we're focusing on our breath. Breathe into your belly. Let your belly expand and create that support on the floor for you. And as you exhale, your natural body's tendency is to sink in, but I want you to maintain that height on your shoulders. Feel that burn in your back body. If you're feeling it in your shoulders, front of your shoulders, you're going to move your elbow a little bit further back. And press to your forearm a lot stronger. Keep your hands activated. On the next exhale, slowly drop. Whew. So we do this one more time. Pressing your forearms down to the floor. Hugging your ribcage in, pressing away from the floor. Pull your shoulder blades apart. That's what you're working towards. Constantly pulling your shoulder blades apart. Breathe into your belly. Let your belly fully expand. And on your exhale, don't let the body go with the belly. Keep your body upright. Maintain that posture. Let the whole back body work. Feel that burn in the back body. See if you can slow down your breath. And on the next exhale, slowly drop. Beautiful. So now we're going to our shoulder rotator cuff. So I'm going to show this also upright so you can see exactly what I mean, but I first show it on the floor. So you make sure that you almost relaxing the front of your shoulders on the floor. And then initially we're going to press this down and then we're going to lift it up. So you want to make sure that you're constantly relaxing the front of your shoulder down to the floor. So the seated position looks like this. So this is how it looks like. Imagine this is the floor. So I'm pressing this down to the floor as strong as possible, creating all that activation, and then I release in. And then we're opening up as far out as possible, really creating that space in the shoulder. So let's get started. Start pressing down. Once again, you can relax your forehead down on the floor if that feels comfortable. Start pressing down your arm to the floor as strong as possible. Keep pressing it down. Again, we have that scale. We want that scale to show the biggest number that is available to us right now. Press it down as strong as possible. And on the next exhale, release. Let your arm go a little bit closer to the floor. And now we're going to lift up our hand off the floor. The natural tendency is to go this way and bend from the wrist, but you want to make sure the back of your hand and your forearm are in the same alignment. Feel that burn in the back body. Let that work. It's an active hold. You're looking for more and more range. Keep that angle on the elbow a little bit wider. Don't close it down. Keep it wide. Keep going. Feel that burn in the back body. And exhale. Beautiful work. So you can stay right where you are. I'm going to switch sides for you to be able to see. Right here. So we are sliding that scale. We are pressing our arms fully down to the floor. So when you start pressing down, your shoulder may lift up a tiny bit. If it's a tiny bit, that's cool. But you don't want to fully lift it up like this. So you want to still maintain that positioning. Press it down, let that shake happen. The more you experience shake, the more you actually feel the change today or tomorrow. And then rest on the exhale, allow your shoulders sink into the floor a little bit more. Now breathe in, hold on to that breath, lift up. Make sure the back of your hand and the rest of your forearm are in the same alignment. Lifting up, it's an active hold. You're looking for more and more range. Keep this angle wide. Feel that bend in the back of your shoulders. Lift up, find that space. Keep going, keep going. And on the next exhale, drop it. Beautiful work. Nice job. So slowly find your way back to your back body. So hug your legs, go a little bit side to side. And we are moving on to our meditation. It's a body scan sort of meditation. And after that, we will have a few minutes for anybody who have any question. So now here, slam your feet a couple of times down to the floor. If you don't have any neighbors, you can slam as hard as you want. If you have neighbors, just be a little bit more considerate. So you're slamming down and allowing that slam create that vibration in the spine and allowing any remaining tension in your body slide down to the floor. You do this one more time. Beautiful. So now find a position that feels comfortable to you. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes, however that feels good. If you're not comfortable lying on the floor, you can also do it seated, but all my cueings will be more around lying down. And you can just modify the way that feels good. So close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring your attention to your breath. See if you can deepen your breath a little bit more. Watch your body be the container for your breath. And see if you can soften this container for a little bit more breath in and out. And now begin redirecting your breath to your head, to your facial muscles. Allow your breath move through all of your facial muscles. Soften your jaw, soften your cheekbones, your eyes, forehead, eyebrows. Allow your breath to move through your thoughts and see if it can create a little bit more space. As you continue breathing to your head, front and back of your head, see if you can create this sense of lightness in your head. Just watch this sense of lightness while you feel supported with the yoga mat beneath you. Your body is touching the floor, feeling your bum down on the floor. As you continue breathing into your head, allow your head feels a little bit lighter. And let your head begin moving a little bit higher up, as if it's hovering over your neck. As your head continue hovering over your head, you notice this newfound space in your neck. You just watch this lengthening sensation in your neck, allowing any tension in your cervical spine melt down to the surface beneath you. As your head continue being lighter and hovering over your neck, you watch this sense of extension moves down to your upper back. You notice this newfound length in your upper back. You watch all the tension melts down to the surface beneath you, and you soften a little bit more to the space between your spine and the floor. As you experience this sense of extension, this newfound space in your upper back, you also notice the softening of your shoulders, softening of your arms, elbows, forearms, your wrists and your grips are softening. You begin to feel this newfound space in your chest, in your heart space. You watch your heart soften a little bit more in its space. And it also softens into your upper back body. Now we're going back to your back body, allowing that lengthening sensation move down to your mid-back. Noticing this newfound space and allowing all the tension between each vertebrae in that area melts down to the surface beneath you. And you notice you begin softening into the space between your spine and the floor. And you watch your ribcage drop down a little bit more, soften a little bit more over your diaphragm. And allow your ribcage and diaphragm, both of them, soften over your back body, your mid-back. Once again, in your back body, allow that lengthening sensation move down to your lower spine, all the way down to your tailbone. Watching this lengthening sensation from your tailbone, moving all the way to the back of your neck, and all the tension between each vertebrae in your lower back, and any remaining tension in your upper back and mid-back melts down to the surface beneath you. And you see your whole spine softens into the space between your spine and the floor and your yoga mat. You watch all of your inner organs soften into your back body. As your spine continues feeling lengthened and your head continues feeling lighter and hovering over your neck, you notice this softening sensation in your hips, in your pelvic floor, in all of your glutes muscles, small and big, into your IT bands, hamstrings, inner thighs, your quads. Also allow the softening sensation to move into your knees, to the front and back of your knees, down to your shins, all of your calves muscles, down to your ankles, your feet, your toes, and the soles of your feet. Feel the bottom of your feet touching the floor, whether it's your heel or the whole of your soles. Watch your feet to feel more grounded on the floor. You notice you have a stronger grip down on the floor. And once again, bring your attention to your breath, and as your whole body feels a little bit more softened, allow your breath to circulate through this softening, through the softened body. Allow the breath to go deep in every cell, every joint, every tendon, every muscle. Let it circulate from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. On the next inhale and exhale, bring your attention to the room you're in. Slowly bring motion to your fingertips, to your toes, gentle movement to your spine. And very slowly come back to the room. There is no rush, take your time. For those of you who are watching the replay, I appreciate you participating in this. I'm saying goodbye. Thank you so much. And you can find all of my info wherever you found this link. And I'll see every one of you soon. I'm gonna stop the recording so I can chat